Chris, I want to talk to you about some recruiting stuff because that's kind of, you know, your bread and butter. So this weekend, Cormani McClain on On3 recruiting, and On3 is getting a lot of flack with this too. And part of it, we support On3. We love the articles they come out with and just their platform. But sometimes they're a little dicey with the things they come out with, and they took Cormani, or they moved Cormani from the second ranked overall player in the nation to number 19 in the nation. He kept all 5 stars, but they moved him from 2 to 19 from a single camp. And it's a little crazy to see. It seems a bit dramatic. Everyone's kind of going, what's happening here? How bad could this camp be that you're like, no, I'm not. It's not the same that it was. So I want your thoughts on that. And then 2, how does somebody like an Arch who doesn't even participate not lose anything? It's almost like, why participate? Go ahead.
I'm going to actually combine those. As soon as you said the bit about McClain, I automatically was about to, I had the thought already registered because we talked about it earlier, and we're going to touch on the exact subject on tomorrow's show with a bunch of their ratings. What they are seemingly establishing with this, in my eyes, is one, if you're a kid that's ranked there and you fall from one camp and Arch stays where he's at without camping, just based on game film, why camp? Why would you go to a camp if you were these kids? You risk the possibility of injury, and you risk falling in the rankings if you have a bad day. I mean, you may wake up that day, you know, and just not feel well. I mean, you might, you know, who knows what the reason could be.
Sure. Now, if you're a 3, 2, 4-star guy, right? That there's value to it there, and even 4-star maybe not, but definitely the 3 and below, there's value.
If you're a top 20 kid, though, what is your draw at this point to go to a camp if these ranking services are telling you you don't have to camp and we'll keep you right where you are? Because, you know, some kids will say star ratings don't matter to me, but that top 50 group, they care.
Yeah, for sure. And look, it's gonna play it's like a draft pick now. So the higher you are ranked, the higher NIL deal is going to be. So
and that was going to be my next point, is that now you're basically you're playing for your money slots, because I mean, now I can't obviously speak on the conversations that happen behind closed doors. None of us can if we're not there. But if you're a kid like that and, oh, well, sorry, you're not a top 50 prospect now, we're not going to negotiate that kind of deal for you when you hit campus.
Yep.
You know, because, oh, well, because I had 2 bad camps, I had a bad camp, you know. It just doesn't, it's a bad system all the way around right now if that is the precedent we're setting.
And it seems to me that the camps have a ton of weight right now. If he can go and drop, you know, 17 spots from a camp, a non-pad game, right?
That is a unanimous top 5 player in the country. I mean, maybe the top player in the country.
Yeah, I mean, for the fact that he sat there for so long, and it's like, so this is where my critique for On3 comes in, because the only thing that positive that happened to 9-3 is people flooded to their site to see why. And so that's the other problem too, is now these sites are going to start probably manipulating these rankings even more so, because everyone's going to see, well, everyone went to On3 to see why. Whether look, bad publicity is good publicity, right? Everybody went there. And then I was there and ran into other stuff. I was like, oh, this is cool stuff, right? You almost forget. Like, do we really care that Cormani went to 19 at the end of the day? No. Our feelings aren't going to be hurt, but it got our attention. What's that?
He is who he is. We know who he is. I mean,
sure.
Everyone knows who he is. But like you said, now is this the proverbial clickbait that we're all, you know, we all like to say that, you know, oh, well, that's just clickbait. Well, in this
that's what
case,
it feels like.
It absolutely is. Yeah, sure. It's very much to me like the article that came out after Rashada chose Miami. You know, with the lawyer from the agent from California that On3 ran the article that night that spurred all the talk on Twitter and everywhere else about, you know, whoa, look at the numbers on this deal and whatnot. I mean, did that article have to be ran?
And On3 clearly had some kind of an agreement or a relationship with that guy for them to already have essentially an
It's
article
queued up.
written. Yeah, it was already done. I mean, you didn't write that at 7 o'clock at night on a Sunday. You had that written up, and you had already done your interviews, and you had already done your research and your factual like look
Well,
back.
your part research, because it was half researched.
That article didn't just nobody just ran to the old computer and fired that one out. It was definitely
right, exactly. That's been sitting there for a minute. It was almost
there were rumors. There were rumors leading up to that Chad Simmons had talked to that agent many times, and that's why he kept saying that a Miami visit was going to happen, even before he pushed his commitment date back. So the talks were out there. It was definitely not just something that was just a chance, for sure.